You want to learn Laravel Livewire? Okay, I'm going to create an amazing course on Laravel Livewire, and you will not going to find this kind of course on the entire YouTube or even on entire internet. This course is going to have so much fun because we are going to unpack all the magic that packed inside the Laravel Livewire, and we will create a single page application with the use of authentication, uploading image, and lots of things. So what you are waiting for? Just get started with this Laravel Livewire course. And what you need to do, you need to give thumbs up, lots of thumbs up, hit like button, and comment your views about Laravel Livewire. What feature do you like, and do you even like it or not? But everything you need to comment below, and what you want to learn next, that also welcome here. So let's start the journey of Livewire. But remember, like button, hit, like button, hit. What we are going to cover in this Laravel Livewire course? The most important and the exciting thing we are going to create is single page application without writing JavaScript. Yes, we will not going to write JavaScript to create the single page application effect. Then let's see what we will do in each episodes. First, I will give the introduction about what we are going to create. Then we will have a quick start like installing, setting up things. And the third one is super important because then we will go deep dive and see how actually Laravel Livewire works behind the scene. And then we will talk about the wire click event, so that whenever I click on something, then how we can handle on the PHP side. Next is the properties and action of Livewire. Then there are various life cycle events of Livewire components. So we will talk about the mount event, and then inside that mount we will fetch the data from the database, and after that we will going to store something into the database using Laravel Livewire. Most exciting part is the real-time validation and passing data to component. Then we will see how we can use the normal flash message, the session messages of Laravel into the Livewire component. Also, we will going to see the pagination system and how we can create the pagination, which is similar to Laravel, but how we can use that in Livewire. Then because normal, the custom pagination links inside Laravel uses Bootstrap, and we will use the Tailwind CSS. So we need to create the custom pagination links. The most amazing thing of this course is the image uploading. We will use the event emitting and listening of component of this Laravel Livewire to create the uploading image system, and you will see that in the demo also. Then we will store the image using the intervention package of PHP. Then we will see how we can connect the comment and support tickets. Then really going to create the single page application using Turbolinks. So what Turbolinks is, you will need to watch the 16th episode. Then we will see how we can create the registration, registering user, logging in, logging out, and finally using the middleware. So much of these things are available for Laravel Livewire. So let's see what we are going to create in this Livewire. Learning Livewire is not so easy because it has some weird features which is combining PHP and Laravel. And learning Livewire with the use of counter application or just simple to-do application is not enough because it has extensive documentation and everything is so awesome that you need a full-fledged application. Let me take you what we are going to create with Laravel Livewire. And before moving forward, I will tell you that if you like this, then you need to give it thumbs up and comment your views about Livewire, because now I'm going to introduce you with a single page application without writing any JavaScript. So I'm on the login page. If I click on register, you can see I'm instantly on the register and I can switch between the pages without refreshing my page. That's an amazing thing without writing JavaScript. Everything is on and all PHP. Okay, so yes, I can simply log in, and also I have the validations. So if I write it without refreshing, I am redirected to the home page. And we have a middleware, so now because I'm logged in, I cannot move to the login page. Similarly, we have a very nice application where we are creating a support ticket system where we have these tickets like we have some problem and then some conversation. So when we click on any ticket, we have the comments related to that ticket particularly. So you can see we are refreshing, we are changing the comments, and we are getting the comment for particular ticket without refreshing the page. Everything is so awesome. And because we have these comments, and we can have a simple pagination, which is custom pagination actually, and we can easily navigate between the pages, and these are very nice thing. One more thing is you can also upload the image. This is the most powerful thing I have created for this project, and with the use of this system you can preview the image before uploading that, and that's good. And we can simply say with image, and now if I click on add, it's added. And because we are on the second page, we can go to the first page. We have this with image 4 seconds ago. That's an amazing feature. Also, you can see we have a real-time validation, and yeah, you can see it says a new comment field is required because now it is empty. What if I give a very long text? And you can see now we have a real-time validation which says comment should not be greater than 255 characters. And that's why if you give correct thing, no error, click on add, we have this one. That's cool. And this is not enough because we have lots of magic tools inside this Laravel Livewire. So we can simply click on this cut icon to remove it, and it's actually removed from the database. So now you can see if I really refresh the page, it is persisting, and this means it's coming from the database. Everything is there. So you have seen that if I add anything, we also have this notification. This is also from the Laravel Livewire. Everything is super amazing thing. And what we have covered, I think we have covered all of these things: the essential component feature, UI niches, JavaScript, single page application, everything we have covered. If you want to get more of the Laravel Livewire, you can check out to indepthlaravelcourse.com, because now this course is getting very awesome, and I'm going to add this project to in-depth Laravel course, which is the extension of this one, which means you will get more on this project and you will have fun. So let's now really start learning Laravel Livewire. To get started with Laravel Livewire, we have a fresh installation of Laravel, and specifically it's Laravel 7, but Laravel Livewire work with any version of Laravel. You just need to install it using this composer command. So let's just say composer require, and using the power of video editing, let's complete it. So now the package is installed, and you can see on our composer.json we are having this Laravel Livewire. Pretty cool. Next step is we need to include this styles and this scripts in your main blade file. And in the main blade file, that means on the resources, views, and here we have a welcome. So I will first show you that if I open the server, so PHP artisan serve localhost 8000, we have a cool nice Laravel homepage which is coming because of this blade. Let's clean up everything and create a new one, and I call it Livewire. And we need to include this, where is that, this style like here, and this script which should go just above the closing of this body tag. Next we can create a simple counter component inside this Laravel Livewire, and we can simply create this by running this command, and for now just say no. And this command has created one class, one view, and this class is inside my app http livewire counter. So every class, or you can say component of Laravel Livewire, is having this render function. Inside this render function, we are returning some view, and this view is a component view. So it is Livewire counter. Let's open Livewire counter, which is inside resources, views, Livewire counter. And it just say nothing, so I can simply say I am counter component. And next we need to use this component in our blade file, which is welcome.blade file. So counter.blade.php is a Livewire component, and to include any component in our main page which is actually returning, we can simply say Livewire and then counter, like this. So now if I go refresh this page, you can see we have this I am counter component. That's amazing. And now let's do something crazy. Yeah, this should be crazy. So I can say button, and button is having a plus sign, and this button is having a minus sign. So let's go, and yeah, we have plus and minus. Then we have to give here like h1 tag, and inside I will say just 1. So this should be like here, so 1 and plus minus 1. And let's just style this to make it text align center, to make this at the center, and we have everything at the center. Now zoom it for you. What I need, when I click here, I should increment this, and when I click on the minus, I should decrement it. But how we can do this on PHP? This is very difficult task, because every time we need to create a form that should increment it and decrement it, and we need to hold the number somewhere. But because we are on Laravel Livewire, everything is easy with the use of this wire click event. On this wire click event is going to trigger an increment function, and this function we will create inside our component class, and this is a PHP class. And it is interesting that we are binding the click event, the JavaScript part, from our PHP class. Okay, so let's create a function called increment, and here I will simply say diadump of anything, to show you that when we click here, it's now triggering this function. Now refresh this page and click, and you can see we have some error, and it's not actually error, it's a diadump, and this is actually the Laravel Livewire way of showing you the diadump thing. Yeah, so we have this, and you can see, which means it is triggering some function on our Laravel. So we are connecting JavaScript with Laravel in just few seconds without writing a single word of JavaScript. That's cool. This means what we can do next, we can do the same thing for this button, but this time this should be decrement. And let's create one more function called decrement, and that's good, and we know that will also going to trigger. Okay, so next we need some data here, and that means the variable. So what you think that let's create a public count is equal to 1, and because this is a simple view, and remember in a view we can simply pass any variable just like this, so $this arrow count. Okay, so that should be available here, and now I can use this blade way of showing or echoing any variable. Now refresh, and yeah, this is 1, and if I change this to 3, you can see it is 3. Now what I need, actually it should be automatically available, I don't have to pass it. And this is again the power of Laravel Livewire. Any variable defined publicly is available in that particular blade file of that component. So this component is returning this blade file, which is counter.blade, and any variable defined publicly is available here. So you can see now we are not passing any variable to this view, which is a component called counter. Still, it's going to work. Now let's create the real magic. We need to click and we will increment it. So that's very easy, because here in this we are on the PHP and we have access to this dot count, and we can simply say this should be equal to this arrow count plus 1, or let's use the shorthand plus plus, and this means it should work. So plus, yeah, you can see it is working. And let's go on this and say minus minus, and it should decrement. Yeah, it is decrementing, it is incrementing. Whoa, we have done a first Laravel Livewire thing. But how this is going to work, let's deep dive into the Laravel Livewire. Actually, this is all about JavaScript. You can see we have this simple network tab, and when I refresh, let's just refresh, and when I click on this plus, you can see it is incremented to 4. But now we have a AJAX request. We are giving an AJAX request, and this AJAX request is to Laravel Livewire, or simply Livewire message counter. And to show you, I will go to Laravel and I will say php route list. In this route list, you can see at the last we have a Livewire message and the name, and it is exactly the same, Livewire message and then the counter, and it is having a curly braces. This means this name can be a simple dynamic thing that should go to Livewire connection HTTP connection handler. So let's check this file. So HTTP connection handle, and that should go, and let's go here. We have an invoke method. That means it is already going to trigger if we are not defining anything, and now it's handling the request. From the request, it's getting everything like action queue, the name, children, data, ID, checksum, error, everything. Okay, so we have this route, and we are handling this route here. So you can see from this route it is handling, and it is sending the data, and on the request payload has an action queue which is required here. You can see action queue, then name, children. So we have name here, then we have a children which is not available for now, then we have the data, and data is the previous data we have on our component. So whenever I click once more, you can see now it has become 5, and now we also have one more AJAX request. In this AJAX request we have a previous data which is 4, and we have this checksum, and checksum is super important. Why? Because it ensures that no one has tampered with your data you are sending from this AJAX request of Laravel Livewire. We also have some ID, and everything is here. And let's now see what happened from this handle. So when you send an AJAX request, this will give all these data to the Laravel, and Laravel handles it here inside the HTTP connection handler, which we got from this post request and this controller name. And then we have an invoke method that automatically triggered, which is handling from this request. Request is having all these things. Let's open this handle, which is inside this extended class, which is connection handler. In this connection handler, we have this handle method that accepting the payload. Payload is exactly all these things we are sending. Then the most important thing is for each action queue, you can see we are sending action queue. So we just have one here, and we are looping through action queues. So we have this action queues. Then we say process the message. So what message we have given, we need to process it. How we can process? We define the type. So you can see on this action queue, we have a first one, and we are defining type, which is call method. So we are saying we are going to call some method. And next, you can see this a process message is a function inside the same class. So here we have and here we have, which is now having a switch case, and it says whenever you say call a method, whenever the type of action queue is call method, it is going to call a method from that instance. And where is the instance coming from? This hydrate part, and it is actually the real class you are having, the component class you are having. So in this class we are calling some method. So it says call method. Which method? Whatever method we have defined from the data. So we have a payload, and method we are defining increment. So it says call a method called increment with some parameter if we have the parameter. So in our case we don't have that, so we are calling the parameter with this class function name, and that is increment, and this is how we call increment. Let's now quickly see how we can call the decrement. It's going to be easy now, because now we are just going to hit this minus. We have this counter, it's giving all these details. We have a previous data, but the most important thing is action queue. It go to Livewire message counter. Livewire message counter is a route which goes inside this controller or just PHP class. This is a HTTP connection handler which is handling this request. This handle method is actually having a very important function which is called process message. Process message is calling this call method, which is going to call the method which we have defined here, which actually Laravel Livewire had defined, which is decrement, and that goes inside this and call it decrement. Cool. But how it return the things? So on the preview of this, you can see we are having the checksum, and this checksum and this checksum is different because this is just for request and this checksum is for response. Then we have a new data which is 4. You can see now we have 4 here. And then the most important thing is we have a DOM, and all the DOM is now replaced. Here you can see we have a button, h4, h1 with a 4 value, and button, and then div. And that is coming. Here we can see we have this thing. When we done this part, we create a new DOM. DOM is an instance output, and then it finally return it with some responses and using some fluent things. We don't have to go too deep in that. So this is how Laravel Livewire works on Laravel, and this is how the magic happens. And let's continue the journey of Laravel Livewire. And now let's work on this kind of comment section with Laravel Livewire. When I type something here and then hit on this add button, I need to add this comment into the comment list we have below. Let's see how we are going to do this. So firstly, this is created with Tailwind CSS, and this is all about the stylings, and you will get on the GitHub repo, everything is available there. Then what I'm going to do next, first you can see we have this which is actually hard coded here. Isn't it cool? We can get this from the Laravel end, and that we can loop over all the comments we have. So I have already created a component called comments by using this command, and you already know how to create this, and that has created two files, which is Livewire comments, and on which I have this comment section, and associated the Livewire comments.php file, where we are just returning this blade file, which is a component. And I have used this inside my welcome.blade, just like previously we have Laravel Livewire, or simply at Livewire comments. One more thing, if you are on Laravel 7, you can just use this, and instead of this you can simply say comments, and this is the name of your component, and that should go like this. It's not working because now I need to say Livewire, and it's a Livewire component, and that's good. Similarly, you can also do here Livewire colon scripts. So scripts like this, and Livewire styles. Very nice. And now everything is working as it was. So let's move everything, the comments, on our comments.php component. So let's create a public variable called comments, and here inside this I will add my comments. So this is an array of various comments. So first we have the comment body. So body will be the same we have here, so we can copy it from there and paste it. Then we have a created at that goes 3 minutes ago. Then at last we have the creator or the user who has created, so let's say Sarthak. And then we can, because this is a public variable, it is easily available on our Livewire component, that means the blade. So first let's remove everything. So here we have, and here we have. So I have removed everything. So name is gone, time is gone, everything is gone. And now I can simply use for each loop, and inside that I can say comments as comment, and let's close the for each and for each loop. Then I can in the place of name I can say comment, and we have a creator, and that should go like this. So now we have a Sarthak here. Then we just need to add one more for comment created at, and finally comment body. Very nice, we have done that. And now the next task is, when I click on this add button, I need to append a new comment into this list of the comments. And because all the comments are coming from the Laravel end, you can see we have this list of the comment. We just need to add one more comment into this array, and that we know because we said we need to click. That means there should be some click event. So wire click, and I can say add comment, and this comment, the add comment, is a function or a method on our comment.php component. So here anywhere you can create a public function called add comment, and here I can simply say this arrow comments, then adding a new comment. And for now I copy everything from there, paste it like this, call it new 1 minute ago, and new comment. Okay, so let's try this. So when we click on this add, so there is a wire click event, that is simply a click event, and then that will trigger add comment on component of comments.php file. Okay, let's refresh and click. You can see it's now adding it. Isn't it cool? We can add it at the first. So then you just need to say array unshift, and in that you can say the array is comments and the data is this one, like here. In that case we don't need this. That's great. Refresh, and now it's adding at the center. Okay, so next what we need to add whatever we type here, that will go into the comment, not the hard-coded thing. For now we can assume that there's a logged in user called bitfumes at time is always 1 minute, and let's try this. So we need to bind the data of this input field. So let's create a new variable, and again that should be a public, called new comment, and this is just a simple variable, and we are going to bind this new comment with this input field, and wire model is the way to bind it. we can say we have a wire model of new comment. So every time the value of input field is changed, you have a new comment changing, and that should reflect here. For just now, to show you how this is going to work, I can just echo out this here just above the input field. So refresh, it is here, and now I can say, hi, I am new comment. You can see it is now echoing out, and every time I hit some new keyword here inside this, you can see we are calling an ajax request. That should be great. And next we need to move this comment into the comment list. So because now we have the new comment into the new comment variable, we can simply push it here on this body part. So body is this arrow new comment, like this. And we can also use carbon here because this is basically Laravel, so we can use anything here. So that should be great. And then diff for humans. Cool, let's try this. Refresh it, and Livewire is really awesome. Click on add, and you can see it is saying 1 second ago Livewire is really awesome, and everything is without any refresh because it's doing all the JavaScript, Ajax, everything by its own. Next task is we need to clear this one when we add the new comment. So it's very easy actually. When we have done this, we just need to say this new comment is equal to empty. That's great. And once again, Livewire is really awesome, and a smiley for this. Click, and yes, it is now empty, and you can see we have this, and this is super great thing with the use of Laravel Livewire. One problem you may face or you feel like it is not good is as soon as you type here how many number of key down you have, that should reflect the number of Ajax request. If you type little slowly, even if a space bar and whatever you call, you have a 19 requests just for writing this. Isn't it bad thing? Yeah, but we can have a tool to handle this also in Laravel Livewire. Let's go to the documentation on this properties part. You can see if I go, data binding is there. We are binding the data, and that's why it is hitting the Ajax. And every time you want to have the Ajax request only after half a second, then you can say var model dot debounce dot the time. And if you are not giving any time, it will be 150 by default. So let's use it. And here I am. So we have this input field. In this input field, we are having this wire model. And in this wire model, I can simply say wire model dot, and that says debounce dot 500 milliseconds. Okay, let's try once more. Refresh this, and I can say as soon as, you can see now it's giving the request only after 500 millisecond. After 500 millisecond, and if I see, you can have the request just 5 requests by writing all these. And if I type very fast, and when I stop writing, then after 500 millisecond it is giving a single request. That's good. That's very good actually. Okay, one more thing is there. You can see we are giving this for having a 500 millisecond, but you can also define lazy updating. Lazy updating is when input box lost its focus, then only it's going to give the Ajax request. Let me show this, and we just need to say wire model lazy. So now instead of debounce 500, I can say lazy. Cool. Go here, refresh the page, And now I can say as soon as I lost the focus. And you have seen that I'm stopped typing, I'm not writing anything, and still it's not giving any ajax request. As soon as I click outside, you can see now we have an ajax request. And I think this is the very nice thing, because now let's refresh once more, and I can say I am new comment. And what if I click here? So it should give a one request to set it and then another request to add it into the new list. And I'll click outside. So I am new comment and click on add. So we have two requests, one to set the data of this to new comment variable, and then second is to really add it. And that's exactly working, and that is very nice. Now we have solved two problems. One more is that isn't it cool if we have a form instead of this just button and input field? So we can convert this div into form, and then we have a wire click of this add button. Instead of that, we can simply say wire submit, and then I can say add comment. And now I can remove this add here, and I can call this button as a type of submit. So it's going to submit the form. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm not writing anything and I click on add, but it has refreshed the page. It has actually submit the form. We need to prevent the submission because we are calling with ajax request. We use Livewire. Once again, if you can see here, where is that? I can just type submit. It's not available here. On the action, yeah, on the action you can find submit, and we have a wire submit. Also you can say wire submit dot prevent, so it prevent its default action. Okay, so we have this wire submit, then add comment, then I can say wire submit dot prevent. And if you are familiar with Vue.js, you feel these things are familiar. Cool. So now if I go and if I click on add, you can see it's added empty list, but I can prevent it. And if I say here, if this dot new comment is empty, then just return do nothing. And I can close this line here. Okay, let's try this once more. Refresh, add it. It's not doing anything. That's great. But I type and I can say after converting to form, click, and yeah, that comment is now added. Wow, very nice. This means because this is a form, I can use the enter instead of adding on this. So I can say I am new comment. Let's try this. Hit enter, and yeah, I am new comment is added here. That's again a very nice thing. To create something which is closer to Laravel, we need to have the model, then we have a migration and doing some real kind of stuffs with Laravel Livewire. So for that I have created the model comment, and I have the comment migration also. So the migration is holding two important things, which is body and the user ID. Because we have the user ID, so we need a relationship to the user. So on this comment model, this is a model, remember, this is a model, and I have created a relationship which is getting the user, and I call this relationship as a creator. If you want, you can use user. In that case, you don't have to specify the column name, but I like to have a creator here. That's cool. And what I did behind the scene also, I have migrated, and you can see I have 0 comments here and 1 user. So 1 user is Sarthak. So let's use Tinker. So I can say PHP artisan Tinker, and then I can create a new comment. So I can create a comment by using comment : create with the body of this is first comment and the user ID of 1, because I have a user with the ID of 1. If I now hit enter, you can see it says now one comment is created, and that should reflect in our database. Yeah, this is first comment. You can also find comment by first ID, so let's clear it. And okay, so that's ID of 3, and then we can also find the creator like here. So what happened, we want to show that comment from the database into this card. Okay, so now I will come back to our Laravel Livewire component, which is comments.php. In this comment.php, I will going to create a new mounted function. So now let's go here, and here we have a mounted function, so, or method, you call whatever you want to call. So mounted method is, as the name suggests, it will call as soon as the component mounts. So here anywhere you can create a simple method called mount, and in this mount, let's say I will add some value to the new comment. So I can say this new comment is I am from mounted function, like this. Now if I refresh this, you can see it is now filled with this text which I have defined here. This proves that mount works as soon as the component loads. But we don't want to do this here. We want to have the data from the database. Okay, so remember, this is a component which is actually used inside our welcome.blade.php. In this welcome.blade.php, here we have a livewire comments. Now we can pass some prop, just like Vue's prop. Yeah, just like that we can pass the props. So I can say comments is some comments, and that should be like here. So comments, if I do this, this means this is a prop, and this is the value of the prop. Now if I refresh this page, it's not affecting anything, because now I can catch this comments I have here. So I can say comments, or whatever you want to call, and then I can say this dot new comment is equal to whatever the comments we've passed from there. Reload this page, and now you can see we have a comments, and I can say I am props coming from welcome page. Lots of text, and that reflect here. This means whatever we pass here, we can catch that thing in our mount function as a parameter here, and then we can use that whatever the way we want. Okay, so instead of just passing this long string, I really want to pass the comments from the database. In that case, what I can do, I can go to the web.php file, and here we are having this welcome view, and I can grab all the comments. So I can say comments is equal to comment all, and then I can use the compact method to pass the comments. And this means now this comments variable is available here, and now I can say $comments. When I say $comments, this means we are having the comment data, whatever we get from this comment all. Now let's dump comments we get and refresh. Now it says access denied. Okay, so I have actually connected the database. So if I open .env file, I have connected, but I have not restarted the server. So restart the server, and then refresh once more, and this time it says $comments. It's having some problem. Let's search here how I can. Okay, so I need to bind it. So remember Vue.js, if you know, you need to say this colon, that make it binded and make it dynamic. So when you say colon and then the prop name, I call it prop, so prop name and then the comment, then it's going to render it and then pass it. Okay, now refresh, not this, refresh this one, and yeah, you can see now we have a collection, and we are getting this collection because we are diadump on this mount. Wow, is it going to be a great thing? Because we have this comments. This is a public one, this is a public comments, and this one is the comment we are getting from the welcome page. Okay, so I can call it all comments or initial comment. Yeah, this is a good name. So initial comment I call it, and I call it initial comment, I call it initial comment, and now I will fill this comments with the initial comments, and then I can simply remove these things like here. Now every data is coming from the welcome page, and now if I refresh, it has all these things. We just need to render it correctly. So let's open comment.blade.php, and because this is now a collection, instead of doing this I can say comment creator arrow name, because these are object or collection. Then I can say like this, created at, and this is now become the body. Wow, this is great, and you can define it here, because once more this everything is real PHP, so you can use diff for humans here, and refresh, and yeah, 6 minutes ago. Cool. Wow, super nice thing. So we have used this mount, and we have passed the value from here to here. Okay, if you don't want to pass the data from this welcome page, one thing more you can do. Instead of having this comment from here and passing it here, you can use the same like here. So initial comments will be comment all, and I'm not accepting anything, and I need to import this one. Okay, so comment all, and then we are initializing it, and have all the comments which are getting from the database. Let's refresh, and still it's working fine, because now we are querying on the mount event. So now our component is clean, welcome page is clean, and we don't have to pass anything on the welcome page. Now it's up to you whether you want to pass the data from here, or in some case you may want to pass, or you can just write it like this. Now things are becoming interesting. You know why? Because now we need to add the new comment directly into the database, but this is not going to work. So I can say this is not working, and let's add. Yeah, you can see it's having some problem. It says unshift expected one to be array, we are giving object. So we have some problem. Now what we need to do, we can firstly create a new comment here when we add a comment. Okay, so first I can say comment, then create, and then creating with the body of, we know this arrow comments, then we need to give the user ID, and that should be defaulted to 1 for now. This will give the new comment, and I say new comment like this, and then we have this thing. But now instead of this unshift array, we don't want to use this unshift array. We just want to push this comments, and because this comments is now a collection of comment all, so we need to use this comment, and we can say simply arrow, this arrow comments, arrow push, because now we know this is a collection, and pushing a new comment. And after that, new comment should be I think there is a conflict with this new comment and this new comment. So I can say instead of new comment, I can say created comment, and created comment will go like here, and will fill empty out the new comment that is coming from the input field. Let's try this one and refresh once more, and this should work. And click Still it's having problem. It says must collection must be a string value. That error is coming. Okay, because of this should be the new comment. Body is should be the new comment. Okay, so new comment, we have problem. It says undefined variable, and that should be this arrow new comment, and make it inlined. And next delete this one so that we can have a fresh only one. So now one is there. This should, and this so this should work. Click, and yeah, it is added. But again, it's added at the last. We can simply make it like prepend, and let's try once more, because now it is added here. And we can say with prepend. Is it prepend going to work? Yeah, it is working. Yeah, that's good. One more thing, we can sort it like we can latest and then get. So now we have the latest one at the first. Wow, cool. Next we can see we have here, and anyone can write anything. Like I can grab this much text, and user can give any amount of text. Like you can see I'm pasting, and this is a long list of text. That should be a, that could be a spam. So we need to validate things, and let's validate in real time or using Laravel Livewire only. Let's work on the validation using Laravel Livewire. Here we have two problems with this input field. One is anyone can give all the long text and it is still going to save it. Next, we can submit the empty form, and you can see we have actually prevented it by just giving this if statement. This is working, but still it's not giving any feedback. So why not use the validation? And if I send an empty form, then it should return some error, just like a normal validation. Yeah, so normal Laravel validation is going to work inside any component of Livewire. So here also, and instead of this I can just say this validate, and the field you have here, which is the new comment, which we will set. So new comment, I can say this is required. Okay, so we have done that, and we have this new comment which is wired with the lazy new comment. And now if I try to hit add, you can see nothing is happening. Although if I can open the network tab, you can see we are giving a request, but it is not doing anything. But what we need, yeah, this means validation is working. It is not going outside this validation or after this validation, and it is stopped here. That's good, but we need to show error also. Okay, so we can simply use the blade directive of @error to show the error. So let's copy this and go on this, and just above the form I can show it, and I can make it text red 500 and text extra small. So whenever we have a new comment, then I can show the message for that particular error, otherwise not. Okay, that's good. Go here and click on add. Now you can see we are giving this post request with data, previous data, and on the action we can see we have method of add comment, but we are not sending anything. New comment is null. Because new comment is null, it is giving us the result with this kind of comment, which is actually a normal Laravel comment. So here we can find error bag, and inside error bag we have a new comment, and the new comment field is required. In that way we are having this error. Cool. But with this Laravel Livewire, we have a real-time validation also. That's super easy. And that actually works whenever we update the field. So whenever we type something here and hit enter, it's giving a request. But what we need actually, if I remove this lazy part from here, so it will going to give ajax request every keystroke. So send ajax, and I need to refresh the page. Okay, so send ajax, and you can see it's giving 6 axios request or ajax request here, and this is going to make our validation real time, because now every time we have something on the update, some update on the component, then this updated hook is going to trigger. There are many hooks, lifecycle hooks for the components, which is mount. We have already used the mount, then hydrated, updating particular field, then updated, that means it is updating done, and the finally updated for everything. Okay, so in our real-time validation, we can use this updated. Let's use it just above add comment. We can have this, and we need to use the same validation, and the same validation will be like here. It is required. That means now whenever I make changes in our form input field, it will send an axios request and that will validate. So this should be not going to give, because as soon as I type, it's filling it. But as soon as I hit backspace, and if I am not giving anything, you can see it has given the simple error, which is because of this ajax request. And again, if you want to limit the ajax request, you can simply use dot debounce dot 500 milliseconds. So every 500 milliseconds it's going to send the request. So now get back, and yeah, so just 3 ajax request but lots of keystrokes. Next big thing I need to show you is, what if I give big text? And we need to prevent that. This should not be the case. So again, we have the validation, and we can add max of 255. Let's say this will be the case. Refresh this page, paste it, and try to add. It says new comment may not be greater than 255. And let's make this also a real time, because now I can make this same max 255 here. Refresh the page, and then as soon as I paste, and you can see as soon as I paste it, it's giving error. And when I try to remove some, and yeah, there is no error. And if I cross the limit of 255, like here, how I can cross, I need to give long text, and yeah, I crossed it. So now we have the real-time validation error, and every time we hit a keystroke, we are going to send a axios request with the data. It's normal thing, but because we have this on the updated field, we are getting this real-time validation. Now let's work on the delete of any comment. So we have this font awesome cross icon that should be used to delete, and what I did, I just have the font awesome CDN on our welcome.blade and at the head section of welcome.blade.php, and then I have this icon, and I have justify between, so that this div which hold the name and the time will go on the left, and this icon will go on the right side, just like here we have, and that is because of justify between with the flags. Cool. So when we click on this, we need to delete it. That means we need a wire click event, wire click, and we need to say I'm going to remove. Okay, so as we know, we need to create a function in our component. So let's create a function called remove, but then I need to tell our component that which which comment I need to delete. For that we need some reference to the comment. That means we need the comment ID. Okay, so what if I just pass the ID from here? So I can say comment arrow ID. Is it going to work? Let's try. If I refresh this page and open the console, and if I try to click, you can see it has some error, and that is because we need to now render this. And to render any variable inside Blade, we just need this curly braces. That's cool. And now to show you that this is getting here, so I can just dump comment ID like this. Okay, so let's hit, and then you can see we have the 9 here, and once more, and yeah, 9 is there. Okay, this is because we are passing the ID. So we can simply find the comment. So I can say comment is equal to comment and find with comment ID we are getting. And now let's say comment, and once again click, and yes, we are getting that, and everything is there. Cool. We just need to delete this. So we know comment delete, and just after delete we need to remove from the list of comments we have. Okay, before really deleting the comment from the database, let me show you how we can delete from the comments list we have or collection we have. So this comments is equal to this comments, because this is a collection of Laravel, so we can use the where condition, and we can say not equal to the comment ID. So comment ID is not equal to the given comment ID. So now refresh this and click, and yeah, we have this. So why not comment dump also? And now you can see we can easily remove it. One more easy way is you can simply say accept this ID. Wow, that's cool. Refresh, and now we can still able to delete that. So we can delete from the database like here, then we update the collection we have, and that's it. So let's go and click, it's deleted, and if I refresh, it's really deleted. Wow, that's very nice. So we have deleted all these, we just have 3. Cool. Let's move forward with the Laravel Livewire. Since every time you create a new comment, yes, it is created and added, but you can see we don't get any information like any status notification kind of thing. Let's work on that, and for this Laravel Livewire has flash messages for you, and this is incredibly easy. And if you are familiar with Laravel, if you are familiar with flash message, it's gonna be super easy. What you need to do, you just need to create this flash session. How? Let's see. So I will go to comments.php file, which is the component we have for our component, that means comment component, and here is the PHP class. And when we are adding the comment, just after that we can simply use the session helper and create a flash message, and the name of the message is message, and I can say comment added successfully and with a smiley. So smile like this. Okay, so this is added, and how we can show that message? Okay, so to show that message we can simply use the normal Laravel way of showing anything. So if session has message, then show that message. So let's copy this from here, and again it's inside the documentation of Laravel Livewire. So go to comment.blade.php and anywhere, so where it will be good. So what happened here? I have missed something. Yeah, I have missed the semicolon from there, and now it's good. I can show the message above this text box. So we have a text box, that means the form, and above the form we can create this here. Okay, So we have done that, and let's style it properly. So with a padding of 3, background of green, let's say 300, and then text green of 700, and that's it, I think. Let's go and refresh this page, and I will add another comment. Click, and yeah, you can see comment added successfully. Let's do one thing. Let's make it rounded and 800 and a little shadow. This would be great. Cool. So now we can say the third one we add, and yeah, it's very nice. Let's do the same thing when we are going to delete any comment. Okay, so if I delete it, yes, it is deleted, but there is no session message. Okay, so the same thing goes just after we have done everything. Once again, it's a message, and this is comment deleted successfully, and with a different emoji this time. So once again a smiley, but like simple smiley. This one. Cool. So let's go and click, and yeah, comment deleted successfully. And if you are wondering how I get this emoji, then I have actually installed an emoji extension in our VS Code that is called emoji, and you can also install it and have fun with this. So you have seen that it's become super easy when we can add any flash message, and that's the power of using our Laravel Livewire. We have lots of comments here. Isn't it cool if we have the pagination here? And because we are using Laravel Livewire, everything becomes so easy. Pagination data on the Laravel Livewire, we have this. And if you are familiar with Laravel, then it's again going to be super easy, because this Laravel Livewire uses basic Laravel pagination system. But here we are showing all the comments from this comments variable, and on the mount function we are initializing the values of the comments. Let's see what's going to happen when we change it to paginate, and let's for now just have a pagination of 2 items. Refresh, and now we get error. This error is saying you don't have some numeric string array, null or boolean inside this comment, because this paginate is not any one of these things. It's just Laravel stuff. So what we can do, we can remove this. So I just comment it, and I comment this comments, and then I will copy this, because now I am going to pass this data from our view. So we have this view, and I can say comments is this one. And remember, because you are having this public variable, it's very important to comment this or to remove this comments variable, otherwise this will not going to work. So let's see what's going to happen. Refresh, and now we just have 2. And let me show you, if you also have a variable with the same name, like here we have a comment and we are passing comment here, so Laravel Livewire will not take care about this data you are passing. So now you can see it's still giving error because this comment doesn't have any value, mounted is empty. Okay, so this means we need to remove this, and we also need to remove the mount method, because now we don't need that. Refresh this page, and yes, we have this. But what about the pagination links? Once again, it's super easy. Same Laravel stuffs, posts, links. So because we now have a comments, so not posts. So just after for each loop we can say comments and links actually. And remember, this variable name should exactly match whatever you are passing or whatever you are looping through. That must be actually same. Cool. Reload this page, and now we have the pagination links. Yay, every link is there. So now if I click on 2, you can see it's 2, 3 it's 3, 4, it's 4, but we have a problem here. The problem here is, you can see, just keep your eye on the tab. You can see when I click on 2, it's actually reloading the page. This, we don't want this. So now actually whenever you are using this pagination system, you need to use this trait called with pagination. So let's go here on this comments class and use pagination and use it at the top. Here we have, and then let's go refresh the page, and now we have a previous and next, and if I click on next, there is no refresh of the page, and still it's working absolutely fine. Now let's dive into the with pagination trait we have. So this trait has some functions, and by default the page is 1. So when you are not doing anything, it's the first page. Then we have 3 important functions. One is reset, another is the next page, and the previous page. And as you know, the previous page -1, next page +1, go to page you can directly go. So there's the 4 important one, and the reset one is resetting to the first page. Okay, so we have this pagination views. So you can see these pagination links are not good looking things, and we can customize this using this pagination views function, and we will see how we can do that, and then some other things related to the pagination, initializing with pagination actually. Okay, so that's good, and let's now try to create a new comment, because now remember, on our add comment we are validating, we are creating, storing into the database, and then we are prepending to the comments variable we had, but now we don't have this. So instead we need to remove it. But yes, you can see if I try to create it, let's say I have in 6 and click add, we are getting the problem which is saying that this property doesn't exist. So let's remove it. And now let's try. So what's going to happen? Okay, so let's close it, and still when you try to remove, it says don't have the comment. So on the remove, we are also removing from the comment which is not available. Remove that from here, and next try to click on this delete, and yeah, it's deleting, and you can see it's refreshed. And what if I try to create once again? Click on add, it's added. How this happens without any refresh and without any notice? You can see whenever I remember this thing, whenever you create or whenever you delete, whatever you do, it's all getting the DOM. So if I delete, it's having on this preview, you can see we have a whole of the DOM coming from the back end, and whenever this is coming from the back end, this comments latest paginate 2 is triggered, and every time it fetches the data from the database. So this is the way it actually create the new things and delete and remove from the list. So once again we can create one, and that's added. Cool. Now let's work on this links and make them beautiful. These paginations are actually default pagination which uses Bootstrap, but I have used Tailwind CSS here. So let's design our custom pagination links. How we can do that? Here we have custom pagination views. What you need to do, you just need to define your view, the blade file where you have the paginations, and that's going to work. You can also use this function inside your component, but we are going to stick with this one. How it's going to work, let's see. So here we have the links, and we can define pagination-links. This is the file I'm going to create on our views, and views reside inside resources, views, and I have already created that. So this is pagination-links.blade.php, which is an empty file. Let's see what's going to happen when we are not giving anything inside this file. Refresh, and that is gone. Nothing is there, and I can say I am pagination, click, and yeah, it's coming here.
So yes, we can simply define our pagination inside this file. How we can define? We have a couple of methods. So first we need to check if there is a pagination. So has pagination, has pages actually. So let's see if we have the paginations, then and if, then I will show a UI with a li of previous and one is for next, and let's make it flex and justify between. Okay, let's try this. We have previous and next, and now if I change this paginations to 20, so then we don't need the pagination. In that case, at the last, you can, if you can see, we don't have any pagination. Okay, that's cool, we have done that. Next we need to wire click and we need to go to the previous page. So once again, here we have a function previous page, and remember this previous page function is coming from this trait we have, and at the last we have this previous page function, which is going to trigger. And remember, wire click is actually going to trigger any PHP function inside the component. So we have this. Similarly, we have a next page also, so we can wire click on next page. So we need to define everything, wire click next page. Let's try this, and I need to make it 2 so that we can actually see. Refresh, and yeah, we have 2. Let's go to the next, click, yeah, it's working. Next, once again, previous, yeah, it's all working. That's cool. Let me modify these things with some stylings. So now I have given some classes to define and to style these things. So there is a border, shadow, rounded, bgy, text center, padding x2, padding y1, and width of 16. So that's why it's looking like this. Cool. But you can see if I'm on the first page, even if I can click on the previous, it's going to the -1 page, -2 page. You can see at the URL. But we need to prevent this. I have added cursor pointer also. So how we can prevent when the previous page is not available, similarly when next page is not available. So once again, I can go on the pagination documentation of Livewire, and now I can say if on the first page, then I need to disable it, or I can simply create a button which is disabled. So we can simply check this one. So we can have one for if pagination is first page, then do something else, end it. So if I'm on the first page, I need to do nothing when I click, so there is no wire click, and then I need the background of let's say gray 200 or 100. When we are not on the first page, then we are giving this previous one which is having a wire click. Let's try this. So we have end of line, so end if actually. Refresh, and now you can see I'm on the first page and this is looking like a disable, so I can remove the shadow also. So that should be great. Flat, yeah, so it's now good. So no, and cursor pointer also I can remove, so it's not doing anything, and it's now disabled. And now I can click on next, it's working, but you can see it can go very long when we click on the next. This means now we can do the same thing when we has no more pages. So has more pages, if it has some pages, then going to show this, else do something else, and then if and if. So here comes the next one. When we has some pages, then show the next button which is having a wire click. But if we don't has any pages, then remove this click, remove cursor pointer, background gray of 200 I will say, and that's 200 for this previous also, and that's good. Removing the shadow also, and let's try once more, and there is no previous page, so there is no next page, so next is disabled. And now if I can go to previous, yeah, now it's there. And now we are on the last page. So as soon as we are on the last page, you can see now next is disabled. We can go previous, and finally previous is disabled. Wow, cool, we have done that. Next, work on the pages in between, so 1 2 3 pages. So first we need to loop over each one, so each element. So this one is for I can say previous, and then I can say previous end. Here I can say next, and here next end. Then I can start numbers, and also we need to end the numbers, so end numbers is just for comment so that I can see where I am. So end for each loop. In between I need to have some links, so I can firstly create a div. Inside div I have a li of 1 2, and I can make this div a flex so that it will be inlined. Let's try. Refresh. Yeah, 1 and 2 is there. Let's style these two class, and this class has margin x of let's say 2. And yeah, this is good. Let me design this also. And I have just copied the same classes for previous and next and make it here 1 2. And then what we need to do next, we need to check if the element is a string, that means just one. So we need to show this one, otherwise we need to loop over this. So we need to check if it is an array. So let's work on the array part. So let's copy that, and I can remove it, and then I can paste it. And we have this one we have designed, and remove it like this and paste it like this. Okay, so we have the page, and we can use this page, and we can show the page here, show the page here. Let's see how it's going to look. 1 2 3 4. Now how it's going to work, when I click we need to go to a page. Once again, there is a function called go to page and with a page number. And remember, I can use wire click go to page, and it's with go to is a lowercase, and then I need to echo out the page so that it will give the number actually. And now it's going to work. So 2 is there, so it's not working. Let's refresh, and it's not working. Let's see why it's not working. So go to page is there. I can copy that and I can paste it, which is there, and yeah, now it's working. So that was having problem with the word go to. Okay, so 1 is there, 2 is there, 3 4 1, and yeah, 1 is previous is disabled. Go to next, working. Previous is not working. Let's open the dev tool and see why previous is not working. It's not giving anything because of some problem. Wire click previous page, we are having this. So we have some problem here. We are on the 4th page. This should work. Yeah, it's working. So that was, I have not refreshed. Final is active one. So you can see with the first page, here we have with the current page is equal to the page we are clicking, then we need to make it background of blue 300. Refresh, and now yeah, that's good. So text white and blue of 500. Cool. So this is how we create the pagination on our Laravel Livewire. Pretty cool thing. I think I like this one. Great. Let's work on next thing. Next, I need to work on the image upload. So when I choose any image, I first need to get the preview here, and then when I click on the add, I need to add the image along with the comment. How we can do that thing with Laravel Livewire? Let's check out. So I have created a simple section where I have this input, because in Livewire form doesn't matter. Fully form doesn't matter. That's why I have put this input box above the form, because it's not required. Then what we need next, we need to choose any file. When we choose a file, we need to send that file to the Laravel end. Let's try in a conventional way. So it would be nice if I have wire model of image. Let's try this. So we need to create a simple variable called image. So public image, or you can just directly create image here, but I like to have like this. Okay, so when we have this, click and choose an image. Nothing happens, but let's try once more. Refresh the page and choose an image, and yeah, you can see we have this actions request, which is sending the data. Let's see what data we are sending. We are sending image as null. This is weird, but what we are getting on the image actually. So to check that, I can just echo out image at the top. Here we have. So initially image doesn't have anything, so nothing is showing here. As soon as I choose it, you can see we are having some fake path welcome minion.gif. So here this fake path is actually for the browser security is having this fake path, and Laravel cannot interact with the browser, and that's why we have the Laravel Livewire. But even Laravel Livewire cannot determine where is the image to send its information, or how we can grab this. So instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hack it in a simple way. Whenever I change something, that means whenever I choose any file, there should be a change event of this file input. This file input has some change event. So now I can say wire change. Whenever there's a change, then I should have this image. Okay, let's try this. So instead of wire, I have change, and whenever there is a change, now it says unable to call component method. So it's feeling like there is a function of image. So this means we can create some function inside this image. But I'm going to introduce you with the events of this Laravel Livewire, because we can emit some event. Once again, if you are familiar with Vue.js, it's exactly the same. We are emitting the event. We can emit the event with the wire things. Then we can emit the event from the component, or we can emit event from this script. Similar to emitting, we can also listen the event. So at the bottom, you can see we have wire listen, Laravel Livewire listen, and we can listen to this also. Okay, let's try this. So I'm removing this image here, and when I change it, I need to emit an event. To emit an event, I can simply say $emit, and I can say the emit name is file chosen. So I have chosen the file. So let's refresh and click, select an image, and you can see nothing is happening because we are not listening about this event. So Livewire is smart enough that if there is no one listening about this event, it's not going to do anything. But we need to listen event on our window event. So let's copy this script, and you can put this script inside your welcome.blade here, but I'm going to have this on my comment.blade. So anywhere you can have this, and I can simply say alert, and that one is file chosen. Remember, this is the event we are emitting from here. Here's the file chosen event. Yeah, we have this. Let's go here once again, refresh this page, open the console, but now it says cannot read the property on of undefined. let's do one thing. Let's log window and let's try this. But inside this window you can see we have the Livewire. So why it's giving this? Because if I go on the welcome.blade, you can see we are having this script after the comment loads. So one is you can move this into the head, then it's going to work. And like here, refresh the page, and now we are not having any error. So that should work. So you can do this, or if you want to stick with this kind of notation, loading this script at the last, then you need to have some set timeout so that after 1 second you can check for the event. But let's move it here. Or the final thing you can do also, you can have this script here like this. But I like to have the script related to the component inside the component. So in that case I am going to move this script in the head, so it doesn't matter actually. Now we have this. So whenever this input field is emitting the event called file chosen, then we are listening here, window Livewire on file chosen, there is no post ID, and then we are simply alerting. Okay, let's try this. Choose a file, this one, and yeah, we have this alert. Cool, we are getting that. Now this is very nice thing. Okay, so let's grab the file, and we can grab the file by document.getElement by ID. And remember, I have given this input field an ID field of image. So let's grab this tag by ID of image that we have done. So now let's log console log of file, and once again choose the image, that image, and that tag is here, this image input tag is there. So because we have this tag, we can simply find the file. So every file if we have, then we can say files and grab the first one. So once again choose the file, and I'm showing you step by step. So we have this file. Okay, next what we need to do, we can simply say like file is file dot, or I can say let file, and this should be input field like this, and input field dot files, grabbing the first file, because we are just choosing one file only, not the multiple file upload. And then we need to create a reader, a file reader. So new file reader, and then we can say reader dot on load end. When the loading is ended, then we need to simply do something. So log reader dot result, and this is only going to happen when we run reader read as data URL of this file. Okay, so lots of things, but file is there. Then we have created reader, and we are reading this reader as a data URL, and then we are saying when the loading is ended, then we can log out the result. Okay, so this is pure JavaScript, and yeah, you can see lots of base 64 image we have here. Okay, so we can simply send this. How we can send? Remember, we can also emit the event from our window. So window object can emit the event also. So once again we can inside this emitting file upload, and the data inside this should be the result, and this is an event, so we can listen for the event inside our component, and we need to write protected listeners, and then here is the event name, which is file upload, and then which function is going to handle this event. Okay, so let's copy this from there and go, let's call listeners, and listener is file uploaded. Is it uploaded? Only upload. And then we have to give handle file upload. This should be a function inside the same component. and this should get the image. And for now I can say die dump of image. Let's once more refresh, choose a file like this, and you can see now we have this, which is having with the driver of GD library because it's having some intervention. Okay, so instead of image I can say image data and image data. Now let's try once more. So we have this, and this time you can see with some waiting we are getting this base 64, and this we can use. Now we have this image and we can set the image. So this image is equal to image data that we have done here. Reload the page, and now I'm not having any die dump. If I choose this one and nothing is happening, no error, that means we are good to go. Let's go here, and on just above this image, the input field, I'm going to create an image tag with the source of image. And remember, this image is actually this variable image because it is publicly available. And that's done with a width of, let's say, 200. And now once again, finally, yeah, it says the image is not available. We will tackle that. But now if I choose that file, after some time we have a hello for the minion. Cool, we have done finally file upload, but it's not actually stored in Laravel. This is a Laravel step, we will do this later. But let's do one more thing. We can say if we have the image, then only we are going to show this image, otherwise not. Now let's try once more, and here we have choose it, and after some time we have this. Next we will work on the uploading of this image on the backend, that means on the Laravel end, and that will be easy because I have installed intervention package, and that intervention package will help us to store this into the storage. Now since we can choose any image and then we can upload that image, so let's try to upload that image into the storage of our Laravel. And we have this component, so component.php for the Livewire, and here we have the add method. So once we have the image, which is a base 64 format, that is actually inside our image variable. So first what we need to do, we need to upload it. So what I will do, I will create a function, and I will name that function store image, and this function is going to be similar and very simple. And because first we need to check if there is an image, then only we are going to upload. So if there is no image inside our image, so that should be dollar inside our image variable. If no image is there, then just return null. Okay, so what we are doing, we are returning null if there is no image. So we need to grab that image which is a null, and then we need to fill that image part with a null. But remember, in our comments migration we don't have the image column. Let's create that also, and I will say string image, but this should be nullable, so that's why it is nullable. Because we have made changes in migration, let's run the migration, or specifically run the php artisan migrate fresh, so that it will clear up everything and create a new database, fresh empty. And now we also have an image field here. Now whenever we are checking that if there is no image, then make that image null, and that is coming from here. Okay, so let's give a comma, and it's returning null. Okay, so I don't have any image, so I will say without image, and let's hit add, and we have problem. It says name of non-object inside the blade. So because we have cleared the database, so that's why we don't have the user. And quickly I can give the name of the user, so it doesn't matter whatever the password, we are not authenticating. And once again let's try, and I can delete this one, and let's try without image, add, and yeah, it's added, and no image because there is no image. But when we have the image, then we need to store it using the storage facade. So storage, and then we need to say put, and what name we are going to give, I will say image.jpg, and the image will be this arrow image. But this is a base64 image, it is not going to save by using this. So I have also installed intervention library, and using this intervention library now it's become super easy. I just need to say image manager static, this one you need to use image manager static. Then I'm going to make from this image and then encode it into JPG format, and that's it. And if you are not getting this, here is the documentation for intervention library, and here we have image. They have given the alias for this image manager static. Then make the image you are giving and then encoding whatever you want to encode. That's good. And then because we have this image, now we can store this image like this, and that's great. So let's refresh once again, choose an image, any image, let's choose this one, and with image add, and now it seems like it is added, and we need to clear this image also. So let's first clear the image. Once we have stored the data, then we need to say image is null. But because this time it was not the image was not null, so we should expect storage app, and here we can see we have this image.jpg. Very nice, but this should be inside the public. So what we can do, I can just delete this, and we can just define storage and the disk, and then I can say disk is actually public, so then it will go inside this public disk. That's good, but not every time we want to make the image name as image.jpg. So I can create a random name, and I will use str and use random, then concatenating with the extension of jpg. Here we have just encoded, not giving the extension, but now we are giving a name with the extension. We need to use this str like here, and then once again we are good to go. Then we can name this as the name and then return the name. Okay, so see, when we don't have the image, we are returning the null. If we have the image, then we will encode it, create a random name, store inside the public directory, and returning that name. And here, because when we have the image, we get the name inside the image, and the image field is filled with the proper name. Okay, let's try once more. So public directory is empty. Once more try. Choose a file, and once again click on add. Image is cleared, it is added here, and we should expect an image which is inside public directory. That's very cool, and you can see the name encoded form of name.jpg. Very nice. Let's go into the database. On this comments, you can see now we have this image field filled with the image. We can simply now show that image along with the comment. How we can show? We can say comment.blade.php, and just after the body of the comment, first I can check if comment has image, then I can have an image tag. Inside that, source is going to be comment image and then end if. That's great. Let's now try. But image is not loaded. Let's open in new tab, and the path is directly here, but actual path is inside storage public. So what we can do, we can provide, and firstly we need to link the storage directory. So we can say php artisan storage link. What it has created a symlink in our public directory storage, and that is actually pointing to the public directory of this storage app public directory. So now we can see when we say public storage and we have the image. So just one thing we need to do, we need to actually concatenate here with storage slash the image name. Let's try once more, and yeah, we have this image. Very nice. But you know, every time you prefix this thing, it's not good. So I'm going to create an accessor on comment. So let's create an accessor, and I call this accessor get. It's not accessor actually. It's creating a field which I'm going to append. So get image path attribute, and then I'm just going to return storage, then disk is public, and then create a URL for this image. By using this, it is actually going to create the storage slash image, and then whenever we change our disk, it will going to have that. So we need to remove that. And if you are wondering how I get that, you need to go to the Laravel documentation storage part, file storage, and here you can see storage URL is there, and because we are storing in disk public, we are specifying disk public. So we can simply use, instead of concatenating, we can simply say image path. And now once again refresh, and it's not there. Let's try. So it's not there because you can see it's localhost, but the real is localhost 8000. That is because on our .env file we have this localhost. So make it localhost 8000, save this, restart the server, and now it's surely going to work. Wow, it's working. But what if I click on delete? I need to delete this image also. Let's delete that image. So we have this remove part, and we can simply say storage, go to the disk of public, and then delete a image which is comment image. So if there is an image, it will delete it. Otherwise, if there is no image, how can it delete? So let's refresh and try to delete. Comment is deleted. Let's try on our storage, and you can see that is gone. There is nothing inside the public directory. Even if you go here, public directory is empty. So in that way you can add any image with the use of Laravel Livewire and obviously Laravel. So yes, we have the comments, but you know, every comment belongs to some supporting tickets. If you have raised any support ticket in any website, then you probably know that. So we are going to create a simple model, and that model name will be support ticket. So php artisan make model, and the model name will be support ticket, and also I'm going to create the migration and the factory of this one. Okay, so I have created that, and we can simply search the migration, and here's the migration which is inside the database migrations, and this one create support ticket table, and this table is having just one field for now, and that field may be the question. So if someone has raised some support ticket, that means he has some query or some question, or you can make it like query, but I like to have a question, not questions. Okay, so this we have also because every support ticket has many comments, and every comment belongs to single support ticket. So let's open comments migration. In this migration, we need to add one more unsigned integer, and I call this one support underscore ticket underscore id. So this is going to help us when we create the relationship. So let's now migrate fresh. So php artisan migrate fresh, and what it has done, it has also created one support tickets table. Also it has added one more column in the comments table, and now it's time we can simply create the relationships. So every support ticket has many comments. So let's open support tickets model, and first I will create a simple function, and the function name is comments, and then I can simply say this is going to return has many comment, like here. Now we have this factory of the support ticket, so we can create this and we can say the question will be the faker, not factory, faker paragraph, and let's try this. So to create new support ticket into our database, I'm going to use the tinker. So php artisan tinker. So in this tinker I can simply use the factory of support ticket and then create a class and giving a namespace of app support ticket class, and then I'm going to create two support tickets. So here comes two, and then we can simply create it. So I think in our factory, yeah, it has to be question only. Now let's go out of tinker and once again go in, create two. Yeah, now we have the two ticket into our database. And to show these tickets in our blade file, we need to create the Livewire component. So php artisan Livewire make, and the component name is I'm going to use is tickets. So it has created two, one is ticket.php class and then blade file. So firstly we have ticket.blade, and in this I'm just going to say tickets, and we need to use this into our welcome. So we have welcome, and just like this we can use tickets. Okay, so we have the tickets, and now if I go refresh this page, you can see we have this ticket, and I'm going to style it, and ticket should be on the left and comment should be on the right. And quickly I have designed this support ticket section, and let's see how we have done that. So in the body I have given a flex justify center. This bigger div is just having a width 10, and that's why it is having some space here, also some space we have here. That's why one is this side, one this side, 10 here, so total 12. Then we have a section with a width of 5 for the tickets and with the width of 7 for the comments. So that's why we have tickets here, and then we have a comments here. Okay, and inside this tickets I have just used this support ticket to show the support tickets. Now we need to fetch the support ticket from our component, and remember we have created the component. That means in our app http livewire we also have a new component php class which is tickets. So in this class we can simply create or simply pass the tickets, and that should be support tickets and fetching all the support tickets for now, because now it has. Now we can simply loop, and we can copy this loop section from comment so that we don't have to design much, and then close, paste it, and that should loop to tickets, and here come ticket, and then we just need the body part. So I don't need image, I just need the ticket question, and then let's remove everything else like here. Let's try this. And yeah, we have two tickets here, 1 2, and then we need to create the comment. So let's try to create the comment. So first comment, click add. Now we have a problem. It says support ticket ID does not have default value, because when we are saving the comment, you can see add comment. Here we need to give a one more field called support ticket. That should be ticket underscore id, and that should come because I'm going to create a new variable called ticket id. So let's create a new variable called ticket id, just like this, and that should be public one, like here. And by default I make it 1 for now. We will see later how we can change it. Okay, so once again refresh this page and I will say first click add. Now it has problem. It says name of non-object, where it is, because we have cleared the database, so we don't have the creator. That means there is no user with the id of 1, and we are defaulted it to 1. So I'm going to create it, and I have created the user also, so this is going to work perfectly fine. And you can see now we have the user, and that's why we are having this comment. But remember, this comment always belongs to ticket ID 1. Now what we need to do, whenever I click on any ticket, I need to load the comment of that particular ticket only. We need to transfer the information from this part, that means from the ticket section, to our comment section. How we can pass the information from one component to other component. And now here comes our event emitting part. So we can say wire click. When I click on any ticket, we have this big div which is holding the ticket. Whenever I click on the ticket, I am going to emit an event, and event name is ticket selected, and I'm going to pass the ticket ID also. So ticket ID. So I'm doing two things. I'm just having emit event, and the event name is ticket selected. Also I'm going to pass the ID. And remember, on our components we have the listeners, so whatever event is emitted, this one is going to listen for that. Okay, so now I'm going to create another listener, and I'm going to create another function with the same name, so like this. And because it is getting the ticket ID, so I grab that. And remember, when you have the same name for the event and same name for the function, you can just define like this. No need to define the key value. So it has detected, okay, the event and the function name is same exactly. So when the event is emitted, we are listening that event here in this code, which is inside the comment. So we are emitting the event from ticket component, and then we are listening in our comment component. And here we just need to say ticket ID is equal to whatever the selected ticket ID, like this. Okay, so this means when I click on the second one like this, this should make the ticket ID as 2. So if I say second and click add, and if I check on the database, you can see now it has the support ticket ID of 2. That's good. But because we have the ticket ID which is defaulted to 1, we can fetch the comments where, you guessed it right, support ticket ID is the given ticket ID. And now if I refresh this page, you can see this is just for the first one, and as soon as I click on the second ticket, it should load the comment for the second ticket only. Click, and yes, you can see it is just for the second one. So if I say second comment, so second ticket, second comment, and it has created that. And now if I click on this first ticket, You can see we have only one. Click on second ticket, we have a two comments. That's good. But how do we know that which one is selected? So we can do one thing. On our support ticket component, we have this one. We can create a public variable, or simply I'm calling active one. So active, and then I'm going to bind this. So how we can bind it actually? Whenever I emit an event, or whenever I click on this one emitting the event, I need to inform my uh, component that the active one has some ID. So it seems like there are various ways to achieve that. One is I can simply listen about the event for its own. So just we have like this, we can have a listener, so just like here, and because ticket is selected, we can create a function called ticket selected, grabbing the ticket ID, and then I can say active one is the ticket ID. It is actually the model, so I need to cut this from here and move it into the Livewire tickets component. And you have probably seen that and you are yelling that Sarthak, this is a model. Okay, so once again just paste here, and whenever I emitting this event on our ticket component, I'm listening about that, making active as the current selected ID. And this means in our class I can simply say if active is equal to the loop one, so ticket ID, if this is equal to ticket ID, then I can say background of gray 200, otherwise do nothing, no extra class. Refresh, and now click. Yes, it is selected, and yes, this one is selected. You can make it green, so that will look good. And yeah, this is good. And by default the first one is selected, so what we can do, we can make active is 1, so always first one is selected. And now this is good. And yeah, this has problem. If you don't have any ticket with the ID of 1, you can probably do something like this, and you are not fetching any comment. So in our comment also I'm not giving any ticket ID, so now there is no selected ticket, no comments, that's why. And if I click, yeah, everything is working fine. So this is the way you can create so awesome thing with the just use of Laravel Livewire without writing any JavaScript. Let me show you the real power of Laravel Livewire, because we are going to create the single page application with the use of Laravel Livewire without writing any JavaScript. Yes, you heard it right, just using PHP, no JavaScript, but single page application. So there will be a home page just like this, and another page we will think about that. Okay, so for that, let's go to the Livewire documentation, and we have a single page application mode. To make single page application, we need this Turbolink. We will come to this Turbolink later, but see this. When normally in Laravel you create a route, then controller, then you create a view for app layout, then you create a component, you use that component. Oh, now in Laravel Livewire it's very easy, just one route pointing to some Livewire component, and that's it. You just need to create an app.plate, inside that use this yield part, and this component automatically pushed into that. If you're not getting that, let me show you things. So I will go first to web.php file, and inside that you can see we are returning this welcome view, but I don't want to return the welcome view. I want to return a home component. So what if I do this and try to hit the base URL? That means localhost 8000, which is here. Now if I refresh, now it says Livewire home does not exist because we have not created a home Livewire component. Let's create that. So php artisan livewire make home. So now we have that. So app http livewire home.php is available. So that's why it says no problem if I refresh. But now it has another problem. It says layouts.app doesn't exist. And I told you this require app.blade.php inside layouts directory inside views. So in our views, we have this layouts directory, but there is no app.blade.php. Let's create that. So I will say app.blade.php. Okay, that's good. Now if I go refresh this page, page is blank. Why? Because our app.blade.php is blank. What if I say I am app.blade.php file, refresh this page? Yeah, this is working. But we want to have our home component here. Okay, so if I say home, and then we have this home.blade, so I can say I am home. Let's go refresh, and we are not getting that because remember we need to add this yield content. Okay, so now if I say yield content, and now we don't have to define anything because on our route I have defined that when I go to base URL I need to load my component which is home. So in our app, in this yield part, Livewire automatically push this home component. So in that case, if I go refresh this page, I am home. That's cool. Now let's create another route called, let's say, login, and that should be slash login. And now if I go to slash login, now it says I can't find any component called login because we have not created any component called login. Let's create for login. Once again, we have the login component. What if I go refresh the page? Once again, a blank. Why? In our login.blade, I need to say I am login. Very cool. So yeah, we have this. Why not create a simple button on our app.blade which is going to have two links. So I will have a simple div and div with a flex width full, justify center, and then I create a simple anchor tag for home, then for login that should be slash login. What if I refresh? Now we have a home and login. Click on home, yeah, login, that's good. But we are refreshing the page. We don't want to really refresh this page. Now here comes our Turbolinks. Now let's just install Turbolink. So we need to go to this link given here, and here is the GitHub repo of Turbolink. If you scroll down, you will get this npm link. So grab this npm link and hit it here to install it. And now this Turbolink is installed. So next we need to configure it and we need to use it like this. First we require and then we need to start it. And that we can do inside our JS, app.js, or you can use it inside Bootstrap. I like to have it here, app.js, and that's good. So we are requiring it and then we are starting it. So we need to compile everything. So npm run dev, and while these are compiling, let's go here, and if you inspect this, you can see we have not included the script for Livewire. So while this is doing something, we can simply do one thing. We can copy everything from this welcome.blade.php like this, and I can paste it here because the welcome.blade.php is now useless. So I can copy these two things from here and I just cut these links or these things and paste it here, and that's it actually. So we have link, and now we have a Livewire script, Livewire styles, and then we have some basic Tailwind CSS, and now refresh. Yeah, that's good. Click on home, at this login, this is home, and now if I view page source, at the bottom you will find somewhere Turbolink. So here we have a Turbolink evaluation of false, false, and here we have Turbolink load. Then if we have the Turbolink, then it will do these kind of things. So let's see. Now we have compiled everything. This means now we can simply use our script tag, and make sure you use it just after the Livewire scripts. So we need to say asset, and inside asset we can use js/app.js. Cool. So refresh this page once more. Now we have the app.js, and now see, you can see, keep your eye here on the Livewire, the tab. You can see there is no page refresh. And now let's grab everything and make it little good. So behind the scene I have designed this, and what I did is just very simple. I just have a flex width of full, so it's having a full width with the background of purple 900 and text white. Then we have these two links with having a padding of 4, margin x of 3, and then moving this yield with a margin of 10. That's why we have some margin, you can see here. And this design or everything you can get from this GitHub repository called github.com/bitfumes, and then you can search or directly go to the link in the description for Livewire full course. And don't forget to hit star and follow my personal profile, which is github.com/sarthaksavvy. You just need to hit the follow button. Somewhere you will find that. Okay, so let's get back, and here if you see, if I click on login, and it's not refreshing although changing the component. Now let's see what happened when we click on login. As soon as I click on login, there is the AJAX request or Axios request you call it. Then we are fetching everything, the views from the backend, and that's how we just update the Laravel Livewire, update the DOM on your front end. And it's exactly same, we create the single page application. And same happen when we click on home. When we click on home, you can see we are fetching the home page from our server, and everything we are fetching, the HTML, the data, and pre-defined HTML, actually everything we are getting from the backend, and that's how we create the single page application. But let's get back everything we have created, the report, the ticket, the comments on our home page. So remember, we have this, we just need to cut it because this now belongs to my home page or home component actually. So I just have it here and just uncomment, everything will work fine. So refresh and it's there, and I can just do one thing. I can give it flex and justify center so that everything become at center. And now if I select first, and now I can say second comment, hit enter. Yeah, it's working very nicely. And now I can go to the login page. I'm on the login, I'm on the home page without refreshing the page. Whoa, super sexy, super cool, awesome thing. This is only happened with the use of Laravel Livewire plus the combination of Turbolinks. If you like this, if you like the magic of Laravel Livewire, you need to hit the like button. Hit a like button, press it like so hard it will break the algorithm of YouTube, and it will just spread like a storm so that everyone know the power of Laravel Livewire. Now it's your time to spread the power. Make this happen. And if you have any question, just please ask me, and I'm always here with you. So we will meet in the next episode. Till then, goodbye. So now we have the login page. Isn't it cool? We also have a register page. Let's work on registration. So here we will first go and create the route. So if I say a new route, a Laravel Livewire route, that route is register route, and we have created that. Let's go, and we need to create a tab here or a simple link to move into the register page. So I can go on the app.plate where we have all the links, and I can simply replicate this one and call it register, and we have that. Isn't it cool? We can move these login and register to the right. So we just need to say justify between, refresh. Oh, but this should be login also at the right. So we just need two element here. So we can move login and register into a div. So we just have a two. So two will be on the left and right. We just need to give the padding. So these padding are not required in these links, and we can move that padding here, and this is working nice. Cool. So if I click on login, if I click on home, that's working. Login, it's working. Register, now it says you don't have register component. Okay, let's create that. So php artisan livewire colon make register, and it has created two files, one blade, one php file. You already know these things, and blade is inside resources, views, livewire, register. So I can simply say I am register to check is it working or not. Yeah, this is working. That's cool. Now I have already created some designs for this registration, so I will just paste these designs here inside the register.blade, and that will look something like this. So let's make this also correct. Inside app.blade we have this yield, and we can simply say this is actually width of full. Yeah, so this is a nice looking registration form. We have these fields and simple button, which is a form. Let's see here. So we have a title, then we have a form. In this form I have given wire submit to prevent. This means we need to create a submit function in our register component. And then we have some input fields. So we have this input for name, email, password, password confirmation, and finally a submit input field which is going to submit this form. Okay, let's go here, and because this is a simple form, and if I click on register, now it says you don't have a submit method inside your register component. So let's create that submit method inside register livewire component, and method means simply a PHP function which is submit, and here I just diagram to check it is working or not. Reload, click on register. Yes, we are getting this diagram, that means it's working. Cool. But we need the data from these input fields, the name, email, password, and confirmation password. So we need to bind the wire bind or wire model to some variable. So we can say wire model and name. So that should be like, we need to create a public name variable. This should be the case. So we have wire model of name. This means now if I can write something, and before that I diagram dollar this arrow name. Let's now see. So if I say Sarthak and click on register, yes, I can see Sarthak is there from the diagram, from the PHP part inside the component. That's cool. But because we have a lots of field like name, email, password, and confirmation password, I'm going to create a form, a variable called form, which is actually a array, and array is having the fields like name, which is empty, then email, which is also empty, then comes password, which finally also empty, and password confirmation, and that should go empty once more. And because now we have this form, what we can do, we can simply go here, and instead of wire model name, we need to now say wire model of form.name. So in that way, if I go here and now if I try to submit register, now it says name property doesn't exist because now we have form instead of name. So reload and give Sarthak register, and you can see name is Sarthak. So let's do the same for other fields, and we can simply do that by pasting here and changing the name like this. Then for password, oops, comes password, then comes here for password confirmation, like here. Okay, so let's try once more. So just typing anything for checking purpose, click here, and that should be email.com, and yeah, everything is there. Now you can see I have typed anything, literally anything, and this confirmation password and password doesn't match. So let's do the validation. So to validate things, we need to go here on this submit method. I can simply say validate, or you can create the real-time validation. You probably know these things. So now email is, but remember that should be form.email is required, but that has to be an real email. Okay, then it's form.name, which is just going to required, and then we have a form.password, which will be required and confirmed. So confirmed, like this. Okay, because there is some error, so if I'm not giving anything, we will get the error on our register. If I click, we have this and in this error bag you can see we have this errors. Now let's show the error, and we also have the error field in our comments. Here we have at error, name of the error, and then show it. Let's copy that, go to register, and just below every input field I will give the name and show that error. Then for email, show that error, and remember once again that is form.name. I forgot that, form.email, and finally form.password. Okay, I'm not giving anything for password confirmation because that include inside the password. Cool. Reload, click on register. Whoa, we have a proper validation. And now really register the user and then redirect to login page. Now since we have the data on our backend, that means on our register, and in this form we are validating, when validation passes, we create a new user, and we can simply say user : create, and then I can say this arrow form, which is including everything like email, password, password confirmation, and email, password, everything is there. Okay, so we have done that, and what we need to do next, after creating the user, we need to simply say redirect to /login page. And why not give a name to this login? So I can say name is login, and you can see we can simply do everything we have on Laravel. We can do the same on Laravel Livewire routes, so we can give the name also. So instead of this I can use route of name. Okay, so we are creating the user and then we redirecting the user to the login page. Okay, so let's see whether this is going to work or not. And remember, in our user model we are just having fillable things like name, email, and password, but we are giving the plain password. So we need to firstly decrypt it, or we need to make it hashed. So we can create simply a mutator, and mutator name is set password attribute, and we get the value, and then we can say this attributes name is password, and that is decrypt of value. So now when we are creating the user, we are also decrypting the password and then storing into the database. And yeah, we can redirect, and let me take you to the Livewire documentation. And here we can see we have the redirection. We can easily use the redirection like this or like this, whatever you want. But because everything is good, we also have a login page which is not having the form, but we will create that. And let's work on this. And like here, and that should be bitfumes, then secret 123, then comes secret 123, and now hit register and it says Livewire user. So we need to grab the user, use it at the top. That's good. Close it once again, click on register, and now instantly I am redirected to login page. And you have seen that there was no refresh because we have used the Turbolink, and the Turbolink Livewire create the single page application. It's redirected, and in our database, if I open the database of let's use Livewire user, and we have a new user called sarthak@bitfumes.com, and password is hashed. That's very nice, and that's cool. And next is we need to create the login of the user. So let's copy everything from this blade file of register and close, and I will open login.blade, and I will paste everything, and I call this as login here, login time. This is good. Then we don't need actually name, so name is not required, so delete that field. We need the email, the password, and the confirmation password. So now we have these two things, and that submit button should be login, and that's cool. Let's go here, reload the page, and login time is there. And yeah, similar to register, we need to create a form that hold the email and the password. Okay, so go to the login Livewire component, and because you know things, I will going to create a form, and inside the form we can say oops, email is empty. Then we need to say password is empty, and close this. So we have these things, and now we already have the wire model because we have copied from the register. Wire model we have, for the password, and that's good. And we just need one more thing, which is the submit function inside the login component to handle the submission. So let's create that also, and then we are ready to go. Let's now really log in the user. So now we can easily register any user, and we have the login page, and then we have designed this. We have a wire submit prevent submit. That means this is a submit function which is going to handle the submission of the form, and we have created this submit function. We have this form which is holding the email and the password field, and we have wire model for a form.email, form.password. And next what we need the validation. You got it right. So here we just need to say this arrow validate, and you can copy the validations from register. So I can just copy it, and then I paste it, remove the confirmation. So there's no confirmation required and no name required, and that's good. So now if I hit form.email is required and password is required. Cool. So we have done that, and we already have this error fields because if you remember, we have copied everything from register.blade. So we also have this error field. Okay, so now we have that. When we pass the validation, we need to really log in the user. So we can simply use the Laravel way of making login. So auth, then attempt, and attempting with this dot form, and this should really log in the user. So now after this I can redirect to the home page and home. So once again, let's create the name for this home page. Name is home, and that's it. We have done that. Now let's try this. So sarthak@bitfumes.com, password is secret123, hit login, and we are redirected to this page. But how do we confirm that we are really logged in? So first thing is, if we are logged in, we don't want this login and register buttons. So we can first go to app.blade.php, and this div which is showing this login and register buttons, we can hide this and we can simply say if auth check is true. We also have one for guest, so why not use the guest one? So if the guest is there, then going to show login and register. And now go refresh this page and you can see we don't have that, but instead now we need a logout. So here we can say if the user is authenticated user, then I'm going to say show me a logout button, which should be just like this one, and I call it logout. And now we have the logout, but how we can make the logout happen? So instead we need to create a new component or Livewire component called logout. So let's create that, and that should be logout. And now hit enter and we have this logout and logout.blade. So here we can simply say logout like this, and we can cut that from there. Open logout.blade.php, paste this, and now we can simply say when we click on this wire click, we need to really log out the user. So now we have this, and refresh this page and it is not showing here. Why it is not showing? Because we need to write here livewire :logout. Now here we have the logout back, and now if I click, yeah, it says undefined method called logout in your logout component. So we are saying logout, so we need to open the logout component app http log livewire, what happened to me, livewire logout, and then we have a function called logout, and then we can simply say auth logout and then return redirect to route of login. Let's try this, and let's make cursor pointer for this. Reload, click on logout, it's on the register login, and everything is back. Cool. Let's once more try. So sarthak@bitfumes.com, login. Yeah, I'm here, and now if I click on logout, it's working. Wow, congratulations, we have done single page application with the authentication without writing any JavaScript. Everything is possible because of Laravel Livewire. Last thing is, you can see I'm not logged in. If I click on home, I can easily access this page. We need to prevent, that means we need to have a middleware. Similarly, if I log in here, and if I log in here, and because I'm logged in, if I try to access the login page, yeah, I can access. We need to restrict this one also. It's very easy because everything is Laravel. So we can go here, and then we can simply say we need a middleware of auth, that means authentication. Now let's log out. So we are log out, click on home, it's in, we are log out, and let's go and try to hit home. It's redirected back to the login page. Once again try. Wow. Now let's log in. sarthak@bitfumes.com, secret 123, click on login, and now if I try to hit login, I can easily access, but with the group of I'm going to create a group. So yes, you can create the group also, group of middleware, and middleware is guest. Then you can also use directly route middleware instead of route group. That will also going to work. And refresh, it says it's redirected to home. slash home. Instead we want to redirect to base URL. Let's fix this problem. To fix that problem, we can simply go to route and home is this home. Let's remove this one and try it. So if I try to go to the login, and yeah, you can see it's working just by going into the route service provider, removing this converting this home to slash. It's now working. Pretty easy things. That is everything is happened because of Laravel Livewire. So I'm so excited about this, and I hope you enjoyed this very much, and that's really great thing.